Hey, Jake's back and he's got his own show. He's on the mic and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Ooh, good morning, Bakers. What is going on, everybody? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Summer weekend. It was kind of nice in the city. It was comfortable weather. You don't say that a lot. Usually you're hot or you're cold or you're yes or you're no. Big weekend of sports. The basketball is starting to get really good. We're starting to hit a good point in the NBA season. Kind of dial in if you haven't been. I know there's some hockey and soccer stuff going on. We'll talk about that. Our Yanks are dying. BBD, let's do a game of the night, and I kind of didn't inform you, but I'm going to do the Suns-Nugs. I think it was the game of the night for a couple reasons. Phoenix Suns trying to sweep the Denver Nuggets, and the MVP of this basketball season, the Joker, Nikola Jokic, for at least a little bit in this game. A little teaser, and man, this was the game of the night for a couple reasons. It was a good game for a little bit as Denver tried to fight in the fourth quarter. The viral clip this weekend of the Suns fan who beat up a couple Nuggets fans and then ended it with the Suns in 4 while holding the guy. Saw the phrase dog walking used.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was tough. But hey,
I normally don't like the fan fighting videos. That one got some laughs out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Not in
over
favor
them
of
for
it.
now. That I only watched the video once, but yeah, him throwing up the Suns in 4 at the end. That's as tough as it gets for a sports fan. And this series ends up being as tough as it is for the Nuggets. And I think they're gonna look back and, they'll talk about Nikola's MVP. So the other story that started to make this a game of the night, Joker gets tossed, and it's a weird one. It's in the backcourt. Campaign has the ball, and Nikola swipes at him. A violent swipe, something you don't really see on a basketball court. Catches him across the face with it, and then everyone's jawing, beefing, whatever. He gets tossed, which... this Nuggets team is playing without Murray, who's arguably their second best player on a given night. And so the MVP gets tossed, which brings up a lot of questions because, okay, this is the NBA, and, stars get fouls, stars get calls, that whole conversation. It just makes you jump to, okay, would LeBron or KD, would one of those guys ever get tossed for this?
For that. Giannis.
And I think the answer is no. And it's still kind of refs. What are you doing? It's not a great play, but it's also, this is a semifinals, and it's not good. It's bad. But, I guess the way I'm talking about it.
A flagrant.
It's kind of worth looking up. I don't know if I've ever seen something look like that on an NBA court. But, yeah, to eject him from the game in a potential elimination game in Denver is pretty brutal. Not good entertainment, if we're being honest. And I guess if there's any Nuggets fans that are here for solace, the Suns run away with it at the end. A couple nice moments. At the end of an NBA game when someone's getting ready for death, you're kind of waiting for it. And there was a really cool DeAndre Ayton dunk that kind of sealed it. Nuggets fans, you're going to look back at this and say, okay, we played Facundo Campazzo 22 minutes. We played Austin Rivers 21 minutes. Will Barton played 39 and was the team's go-to guy. And this isn't a shot at Will Barton, but that's not who Will Barton's supposed to be on a playoff winning team. I mean, Aaron Gordon, how's your 8 points? Yikes. The good side of this story, Chris Paul, he plays 40 minutes. He goes nut job from the field, 14 of 19, 37 points, 7 assists. He was hitting every mid-range jumper, a lot of them coming from the same exact spot. 0 3-point attempts from Chris Paul. 14 of 19, 19 shots inside the perimeter. 6 foot tall, 36-year-old point guard. 9 of 9 from the free throw line. And man, Suns sweep. They're going to the Western Conference Finals. They await the winner of the Clippers and the Jazz, which that series should go for a while. The rest should be huge for Chris Paul. There's always, a rest versus rust conversation. And but for 36-year-old Chris Paul, there's not. He wants the rest. The other guys will figure it out. Devin Booker, 34 points, 11 boards. Good series for him. Jay Crowder, whenever I go on my rants about you're going to be seeing Dylan Brooks for the next decade, there's another player, I think DeAndre Hunter I highlighted. Mm-hmm. That's Jay Crowder, man. That's Jay Crowder. That's a guy who in a game like this plays. He's going to play defense. He's going to shoot. He's going to pass. He's going to rebound. He's going to do whatever you need. Good for the Phoenix Suns. They go to the Western Conference Final. And BBD, that game of the night is brought to you by Cushy Dreams, our friends at Cushy. You guys know them. Smokable CBD with BBD is what we tell everyone. Go to cushydreams.com. It's promo code Jake, 20% off. I've got one of the tins right here. This is the Hustle tin. Looks like weed.
I'm creating.
BBD's creating today. That's huge. That's huge for the episode for this week. They've got the pre-rolled ones. If you ever thought you might be interested, whether you're trying to get a good night's rest, whether you're trying to maybe mix things up, I don't know. If you're in my age group, that's kind of a weird age. You're getting older. You're not sure what life's about anymore sometimes. Maybe try creating. Maybe try hustling, dreaming, resting. Go check them out. You get 20% off your next order with promo code Jake. That's right, bakers. Promo code Jake, 20% off. Cushy Dreams has been awesome to us. It's legal, all 50 states. And if you've kind of been interested, but you've always been intimidated by weed or like weed's illegal, a lot of places, CBD's not. It's legal. Go check them out, cushydreams.com. Promo code Jake, 20% off. Big, beautiful, bodacious baby David, how are you?
Jake, I'm well. Spent a weekend by the beach.
That's right. That's right.
It's a cool weekend. Not the traditional beach weekend, I guess, but it was fun.
Did you guys go to Lava or the neighboring town?
We were staying in Seaside Heights. We did like a dinner in Lavalette. I don't know what they did the rest of the week because they were on vacation without me most of the time. But I got 2 nights.
Did you tell Jim you got dinner in Lava yet?
Not specifically. We'll get into that story later.
Ooh, BBD story teaser. I got the chat open right now. I see everyone. Classy, Jill, TJ, Al, Fayao, Hubes, everyone. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I did some city stuff a little bit. Went to Alphabet City, which is just a neighborhood. I don't know. It's south. It's kind of like East Village stuff. I don't really know.
I know of it, but not.
I just got dinner and
details.
stuff, which was nice. I mean, it's nice to do that in the city.
Yeah, I guess Yankees Friday off day.
Yankees Friday off day. That
2 of
opens
those this
things
year,
up.
I think so.
Yankees Friday off day. And then, dabbling in the sports this weekend. The Yanks are still bad. I guess we could talk about that a little bit. I know a lot of you are Yankee fans or, people that might have found us originally through talking to you. Actually, probably got to stop giving that speech. We're things are getting big. And we'll talk about that. Last episode got a great response, the international draft. We hyped that up pretty big. I believe I see this in the chat, Alphabet City. I believe it's called that because there's roads that are like labeled alphabetically. I think there's
an
Avenue
A starts
B,
there.
C. Yeah. I learned that. So if you didn't know, and I clearly didn't learn it because I didn't explain it well.
Yeah, we aren't 100% sure that's what it is in this moment. So
I'm never 100 on it.
Yeah.
Let's do Yankees. They look bad. They get beat up by the Phillies, and actually, I mean, they kind of almost won the first game while doing everything to not win it. But yeah, it's not rocket science. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton, who had been their best player in the Minnesota series, didn't play. Got one pinch hit at bat where he's. I know you've been on the stats with Katie Sharp. He's what's he at now?
He's
2 for 30.
It's 067 now.
So he's clearly not Giancarlo Stanton when he's pinch hitting. So they'll get him back playing in an Ale Park, and he's been their best hitter. We'll see if he stays hot. Judgy misses a game with back spasms. That'll be a story going forward. And their starting pitchers got lit up. And they got shut out Sunday. So the recipe is there. It's starting to get loud around Boone. Yeah. Ken Rosenthal with some stuff this morning. Yeah, I mean, it's fight or flight time.
And the Yankees had all the same problems they've been having, and they got maybe their 2 worst starting pitcher performances of the season.
Right.
So,
and they still, almost won that first game, which
they kind of by box score, they kind of did okay.
They kind of did. I mean, for having as bad of a starting pitcher start as you can get. Yeah. Tyone, 0.1 innings, 5 earned.
Yeah, J-Mo, all year it's been the fastball's been good. Yeah. It's been an elite pitch, his fastball, and he kind of just hasn't found his secondary pitches, and that makes it tough to go deep into games and be a good starter.
And I think
he'll eventually find it. He hasn't pitched in 2 years.
He says he feels good, and I mean, Saris, who analytically I trust almost anyone more than anyone pitching wise. He said he still has faith in Tyone when we talked to him a little bit ago, but it's a sick sport. I mean, Tyone's next start is going to be much must-watch TV. If he gets lit up again, then you almost have to make a decision.
His stuff would translate to the bullpen because he's got that good fastball, and
he's coming off double TJ, so it's you
might want to limit innings.
You always wonder that's an actual conversation that could happen, or is it like a kind of bogus IL stint, and he takes a couple weeks off, rests his arm, and goes to the gas station or something. So the Yankees' questions are still big. Luke Voit is rehabbing. They've got a couple big series coming up this week. The Blue Jays and the Athletics. 2 good teams. 2 really good teams. Athletics lead the AL West. Blue Jays are really good. They're ahead of the Yankees in the standings. So it's fight or flight time. Boone said he's concerned, which he normally stays away from any quotes like that. And it's we've been had concern.
Welcome to the club.
They got to shake something up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Luke Voit getting back and Davy Garcia gets called up. I don't know if it's Luke Voit coming back and Zach Britton's back and they shuffle something in the lineup. If DJ LeMahieu looks like the DJ LeMahieu of the past 2 years, is that a shakeup?
Is that all it is?
Is it a coach getting fired? I don't know. But I mean, these next couple weeks for the Yankees, we did it on Talking Yanks if you're looking for a deep dive on that. 25 games between now and the All-Star break. The Yankees are 33 and 32. I was looking at the schedule. And I like to think I'm pretty good at doing an actual fair number on that. Because, sometimes I'll see kids on Twitter who do if this is what the Yankees need to do in their next 6 series, and they'll be,
They need to break off a 10-game win streak now.
Yeah, and they'll be like, okay, well, you'll get 3 against Kansas City. And it's like, well, that's really hard to do.
You kind of can never demand
You can't just pencil that unless it's like a horrid team. And the Royals aren't. They're in the same league as the Yankees right now. So, they've kind of got to go like 16-9, I think is the number I landed on. And when I say that, I mean, if they do 15-10, I'm sure I'll be fine with it.
We can work with that.
But you got to start going north. Like, it is time. And, we we'll be doing some stuff around the All-Star game. We're actually posting something for our Patreons right now. And I know we've got a bunch of you here, so that's exciting. But, yeah, it is an interesting month in Yankees land, a month that a lot of Yankee fans don't have. So I think you're getting a lot of funky reaction. I do think, I tend to lean positive. There's still other good baseball teams that are struggling, like the Minnesota Twins. I know they're dead, so that's not a great comp. The Atlanta Braves are 30-33, and it's like I'm not fully giving up on that team,
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's also a product of the division. They're not that far behind.
yeah, I mean they're 5 games back of the Mets, who are in first place.
Yeah.
And
I've seen they have at least a team between them and the Mets.
Yeah, I mean the
they in
Phillies
fourth
are
as
ahead
well?
of them. So, I mean, for me, it's going to be interesting to see this like that's the thing that James was on. You guys might know him as John Boy. That I do think there is if they don't realize it's got to happen now, then they're going to miss the boat. Like they really will. Because they're 8.5 back of the Rays, which that number doesn't scare me as much as I think it's daunting Yankee fans. There is a lot of baseball to play, and if the Yankees start playing a good brand of baseball, that number will get smaller. And if you win a Rays series, which, hey, the Yankees haven't been good at that either.
They have won one of those.
But there is 90-plus games to be played. If the Yankees start looking like the Yankees, which they haven't, and there's not a ton of reason to believe unless you can buy into DJ bouncing back and Voit comes back and Stanton's right, then they can. But they haven't given us much reason to. So these next couple weeks are the time.
Still, obviously, there's teams ahead of them on the schedule, and literally they don't. But you can still control your own destiny to an extent. The teams ahead of them aren't guaranteed to be good the rest of the way. Besides maybe the Rays, who already had their bad stretch of the season.
And I mean the Rays,
and even then, they're gonna have a bad 12-game stretch at some point.
I mean, this is
Every
where
team
baseball's
does.
sick.
It's baseball.
The last time the Yankees, the last time the Yankees saw the Rays, it was a 4-game set, and the Yankees had a chance to win 3 out of 4 with Cole on the bump, and they kind of blew it. The series before that was right before the Rays got hot. They looked horrid. They couldn't hit. So that's where, hey, we'll see what the baseball gods have in store for the Yankees. You can cook the numbers and do a lot of different things with them. They got to start winning games. And that's where that first Philly game, they were down 4-0. You got as bad as start as you could, but the Yankees were kind of feeling it. And they did tie it up, 7s, but it wasn't enough. So it is time. It's funny. I'll whenever we put out a concerning Yankees tweet, you see another fan base come in, and it's expectations. I mean, the Yankees were the favorites in the AL this year. That's Vegas. That's money. So to compare them to the Diamondbacks, who were hopeful for a third-place finish, I think a lot of people were leaning
Crossing
fourth.
fingers.
It's kind of not the most fair comparison. So that's kind of the state of the Yankees update. Some of you might hate that if you're just here for normal sports. They are kind of the conversation around baseball. Like, what's the other baseball
big
topic?
Picture topic?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can't even point to Blue Jays are hot because that's I only think about that because of their relationship to the Yankees. So I don't think that's a national story.
Yeah, I'm trying. What is another national story of baseball? If I go,
Just White Sox are good.
Espen baseball, what is it? I mean, it's always sticky stuff, so that's a fun convo. Yeah, I mean, the number one headline is Boone on sliding Yanks. We need to step it up. So there's that. Number 3, D-backs alternate jersey. Bang. So that's kind of funny. Foreign substance memo. MLB says they're cracking down on that. Some of the spin rate numbers are down a little bit. It's not a crazy number, but It could
enough to raise an eyebrow. As a fan.
It's interesting timing with the memo that umps are going to be checking players and stuff like that. And I think we're going to start getting big into trade rumor season, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the Yankees do. And, like, if they stay in this kind of 500 malaise, what do they do? Are they going to sell? Like, are they looking at the standings? Are they looking at the wild card? They are paying guys a lot of money. Garrett Cole, Carlos Stanton, that if they wave a white flag, and so much of this year for the Yankees, and I guess this kind of ties into part of my optimism, is ticket sales and revenue. So if they sell at the trade deadline, like, I think, you're going to see a dead Yankee Stadium for the rest of the year.
Comparatively.
And I don't think the Steinburners want that. So I don't know, man.
After the other team that in theory was hit the hardest by no fans last year.
Right.
Yeah, if they have any reason to not sell, they won't. I don't think they do it. It's Garrett Cole's age 31 season. It's Giancarlo Stanton's age 31 season. It's the first year of DJ LeMahieu's contract. These are the years you were paying for when you did the contract.
All of those contracts
you wanted, and you've got a year and a half of control left on Judge before he becomes big expensive. If you're keeping him,
so they, yeah, man.
If they have any reason to not sell, I don't see them selling.
Severino got hurt this weekend.
Savvy thing.
Yeah, man. I'm interested to see, and we did Corey Kluber's going to be expected to come back, like August-ish, maybe. Yeah. We'll see what goes on there. They got to shake something up. I don't know if it's a trade. I don't know if it's a coach. They have to. Because how can you, the last 100 games, I did this tweet, 52 and 48. So, if you go back to last season, it's been the same energy for 2 years now. And if you don't go, you're kind of missing the boat. So that's some Yankees talk for you. Looks like Bradford Doolittle for ESPN wrote an interesting team rankings and deadline needs. Hey, how about this? Shout out to Angels fans. They were all over us because the Angels and Yankees are both tied at 33 and 32. And that should also speak to Yankees fans the other way. And hey, Halos, you guys are kind of missing the message. Part of the reason we've been tough on the Angels is because we want them to be good. I want Trout, Ohtani,
players you'd
Rendon.
Love to watch play games that matter.
Yeah, I'd love to see them in big games. So if they've figured it out, that would be cool. Get in the mix with Houston and the A's. Yeah, White Sox good. Mets are solid.
Yeah, Mets navigating all the injuries and stuff. They had 2019 Yankees stuff going.
Cardinals are 32 and 33. That team has big expectations. They got Arenado. They were the NL Central favorite. So
Did the Cubs just sweep them?
I do think
that right?
They either got swept. Yeah, they got swept. So yeah, man, I don't know. I guess in my head, this baseball season is still going to pan out a lot. And I don't know, if you're a Cardinals fan, if you're a Braves fan, if you're a Yankees fan, one of those three teams, two of those three teams, it's going to happen. That's baseball. That's why it's a long regular season.
They're going to be the team they're supposed to be.
If you add a team like the Twins to that crew and you say two teams are going to die, two teams are going to start going, you'd say, okay, well, Twins are automatically dead. So Cardinals, Braves, Yankees, who's going to go? And I think we'll end up finding out soon. I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm obviously biased and rooting for the Yankees, but one of those teams is going to get hot before the All-Star break and get us excited. One of those teams is going to get hot after the All-Star break and, do a 12-3, and you're back. I guess that's where my brain is still at. You can have a stretch in baseball. That's a good run, you know? I mean, 10-2 isn't nuts. Teams do that.
You're gonna have
easily.
Every good team's gonna have one or two of those a year.
Is it the Cardinals? Is it the Braves? Is it the Yankees? I don't know.
Well, you do it in time.
Yeah. So we will see. The brand of baseball is bad right now. There's kind of not a reason to believe in it. So that's tough. Any other baseball stuff? We're doing Talking Baseball in a little bit. Special guest for Trevor Plouffe, Chris Rose. Teaser. Gave that away for the chat. Always do.
I think Rosie might have tweeted about it too.
Oh, wow. Reveal. Let's do some basketball, David. That's called a segue in the biz. So I may have buried the lead for you, for NBA fans, because the Suns sweep, and that's cool and all, and that story is that story.
A bunch of guys that are cool to root for.
Talk to you guys about it. A couple other things going on, and the big one is the Brooklyn Nets, who they go up 2-0 in that series, and it's, the big three. Harden got banged up, and it was like, okay, well, it doesn't even matter.
He's been essentially out all series.
These are the Nets. They're locked and loaded anyways. Bucks win the third game of the series, 86-83, which, holy smokes, how's your 90s NBA playoff game? And then the Bucks win, and Kyrie goes down. I think they're still waiting for the results. It looked like a rolled ankle. It looked like a significant one. Like it was a real one. But man, if the Nets, who are built around 3 stars, are down to 1? I don't know. That series got a whole lot more interesting. And unfortunately, it's for the wrong reasons.
It's not how you want that to happen.
Like you wish, Antetokounmpo started going nut job, and you're like, okay, so let's see. Drew Holiday. Man, their next game is 6:15, so tomorrow night. And that's going to be interesting. We're going to see what the Kyrie update is by then. Man. And they're back in Brooklyn, so that's good for them. I mean, they'll kind of need that. But yeah, if it's... So, I mean, that team without Harden and Kyrie, you're looking at Joe Harris, who is good, but...
He's good at a role.
Right, Joe Harris gets better with Kyrie and Harden on the court. That sounds obvious, but especially
they have a ton
for
of guys who are doing fantastic in the roles they're asked to do.
Bruce
They're
Brown,
they're a tier
Jeff
above
Green.
the role they're being asked to do, which makes them very good at that.
Right. I don't know.
Claxton.
I don't know. There's gonna
James.
be a really sad energy if Kyrie is out for a week, and if the Bucks win this next game, and it's like, Bucks fans were chanting Bucks in 6. I don't know. That's gonna be an interesting watch tomorrow night. I wonder if KD tries to put the team on his back, which that could be a lot of fun. Sometimes we forget how, Kevin Durant's the best scorer ever.
You can construct the argument for him being the best player in the NBA.
Literally the best scorer ever. 7 foot. Shoots, dribbles, can pass, can post, fade away, everything.
He might be the guy if you need to build. You get 10 guys, make a team. Might be the first guy you pick.
Still there. Still around. So that's interesting. Philly and Atlanta. How about this? Philly's up 2-1 in the series. Embiid, man, he's been playing great. And, people didn't think he was going to play in this series. They thought he was going to be limited and kind of non-existent. Atlanta kind of needs this one to these Hawks have surprised me before, so I won't say that. But if they go down 3-1 to the 76ers, who have been kind of the best team in the East, Embiid looks really good, which credit to him, man. But yeah, they blew out the Hawks in the last two games, 127 to 111, 118 to 102. So I don't know. I think when the Hawks won that first game, everyone was like, "Oh crap! Like Hawks won. They were playing hot. They rolled the Knicks.
Second.
Embiid's hurt. Like, okay, are we going to be seeing some Hawks action? These 76ers are back in play, especially if Embiid can keep doing this. I mean, Game 3, Embiid finishes with 27, 9, and 8 assists, 3 blocks. Yeah, I mean that's sicko stuff. Furkan Korkmaz, how's your 14 off the bench? Love that. And then I think the game before that, he was even more nut job. So they're playing tonight. That series is 2-1. Any 76ers Hawks thoughts, BBD?
Embiid had 39 and 40 in games 1 and 2 respectively. Right. They're really good. They lost Danny Green, the Sixers. He's out for at least a few weeks. Lose him early in Game 4. So in theory, Korkmaz is going to have to be the guy to step up.
Love that.
He seems to slide into that role best. But they're really good. They were the 1 seed. The Hawks can get hot, so it's the pivot game. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, tonight's game will decide if we're looking at probably 7 or if it's just kind of waiting for the 76ers to have one more good night and end it. Joel Embiid.
Embiid playing the way he's playing. I straight up forgot he was hurt.
Yeah, dude. People were saying, he's going to try to play in this series. 35 minutes, 40 points, 13 rebounds in the second game. He's doing better than trying. Seth Curry with a big night there. So that's what's going on in that series. I mean, if the 76ers win tonight, it feels like they'll be moving on. And then that would be...
They're a team that would benefit from the little bit of extra rest.
Sure would.
They can get an advantage on the Nets in that way.
So yeah, tonight's what to watch for. Philly and Atlanta is on tonight. Catch some of that. And then the late game tonight, Utah versus the Clippers. That series is 2-1 Utah. And the Suns are waiting. Coming into this, are the Lakers going to be there? Are they going to own the West? Either Paul George and Kawhi and the Clippers will go on to face the Suns, or Utah and their great season and Donovan Mitchell and BBD. We did this on a Wake and Jake a while back, but Utah and the Suns hate each other.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of fun.
If you've only been casually following the NBA this year. They're full dislike each other.
Two franchises that don't normally jump off the NBA map.
They aren't typically on your radar. Two best teams in the West right now.
So they're the late game tonight. It's in LA. LA's favored by 5. Do what you want with that.
I think they won the most recent one.
I mean, this one again seems like that series. Well, we'll see what the Clips do tonight. They had their back up against the wall against Dallas. If they win tonight, it feels like it's going 7 for sure. NBA people think that's going to be the 7-gamer. But, yeah, man. I mean, it's looking really good for Chris Paul and the Suns. It really is. And there's been so many playoff times where it hasn't. It's been Chris Paul is hurt. They run into bad luck, whatever it is. So be happy for
Seems like it's
Cliff
finally
Paul.
his time.
Be happy for Cliff Paul. And think about all the teams we just rolled through. The NBA title is going to be a unique one this year. You can if the Clippers go for it, and it just happens, then there's a Kawhi story that kind of fits the NBA because he's got the Toronto one, and then if you added this, if the Nets somehow get healthy and do it, that fits an NBA-type story, 3 of the best guys to ever team up. I mean,
if the Clippers pull it off, Kawhi kind of gets into a special conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Because it becomes really him and LeBron are the only two guys that have won a championship at 3 franchises as the best player.
Can do that.
So you can start having some interesting Kawhi conversations.
Go Sox 333. Please make the Homer Draft a segment or video on one of the channels. Pre-show was seriously one of my favorite things. Well, I mean, good news for you. We do the Homer Draft. We only do that on socials.
I think the video only goes on Twitter, so we can maybe put it on Instagram.
Yeah,
too.
maybe we should get that in more locations. If you haven't been seeing we put it on JM Baseball, right? The Chris Rose and Trevor Plouffe.
Uh-huh.
If you're looking for
that's effectively the pregame show.
Daily pregame show of what's going on in MLB, go check out what Trev and Chris Rose are doing. We put that on.
They're on the tube.
That's live on Insta. We put that on YouTube. We put that
podcast apps.
Frank's Red Hot Sauce. We put that shit on everything. So, yeah, go check that out. Any other NBA notes, Beeper? Senor B?
No, we'll talk about it after. I'm kicking some ideas in my head for what Thursday's episode could be, and it would involve the NBA.
Yeah, so I guess we should talk about that. I know we did hype it more and we promoted it on a lot of channels, but we got a ton of love on the international baseball draft. I think it's our most viewed YouTube episode of Wake and Jake, so thank you guys for tuning in and sharing that. It was funny seeing a lot of the comments pop up across stuff like Puerto Rico's part of the U.S. Yeah, but we're doing like
they have like their own World Baseball Classic team.
Yeah, they got a WBC team. Like, come on.
You'd be eliminating a lot of the competition.
Or maybe it's the Joe's McFly bump. But that was a lot of fun. We had fun recording that. It was kind of a mental mind meld. Is that a phrase?
We didn't have that much time between deciding we were going to do it and going. So we didn't really come in with boards.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think, again, like for this week, we're eyeing it now. We're probably going to do a episode similar to that of sorts. We're figuring that out because when the Yankees have a Thursday night game, it doesn't make any sense for us to come in the morning and do this. So we'll see what's going on. We'll figure out something creative. If you have ideas, maybe tweet at BBD. Leave some in the comments. Leave it somewhere where we'll find it. And so, yeah. So thank you guys. That went really well. And I guess that brings us to the comment of the day, which we'll go to, that YouTube video. Leg said, love this. Maybe see Jimmy and Trev, Zach try this out on Talking Baseball. Yeah, we can also work in the John Boy at some point. He's around. He's a friend of mine.
He's invested in this show.
Trev, at some point, he's on kind of vacation this week, so that's probably not a fit. But yeah, I think you're going to see everyone. You're going to see all the John Boy Media people. Maybe we'll get some Ashland. If Keith's around, we'll mix everybody in. Peter Moylan. Hey, Peter. And then yeah, I saw. I mean, a lot of the comments are on the draft, which is good.
Yeah,
and that's.
Did you see somebody tweeted at us?
What they tweet?
They calculated like all our team's WARs so far this season. Obviously, small sample, caveats. Sure. I'll see if I can find it, but it was kind of surprising results. Joe's team was ahead by a lot in WAR.
Well, you know what, and that's
when you focus on this year's numbers.
That's always the fun with anything like this. When Joe's pulled Jesse Winker out, that was like a whoa. Like I thought he was gonna go someone like Yelich or Mookie Betts.
Judge.
Yeah, but no, he went Jesse Winker, who's been absolutely raking this year. So yeah, it's do you do this year? Do you do that? Paul Joseph said it's kind of like FIFA Ultimate Team vibes. I know a lot of people who are like addicted to that. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. You guys are the best. Keep baking the algorithm. Like, share, review, prescribe. We're up to 253 subs.
I found the guy who calculated the WARs was Luke Hatakeda.
Luke.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
Cool.
We love stuff. And BBD, I think that brings us to our last fake final segment of the show. the brew of the night. The brew of the night goes out to a standout performer. Sometimes there's a bruh of the night. You have one, Beeb?
I have kind of a fake one.
Okay.
Not story of sports, but I'm giving myself a bruh of the night. I didn't
wow.
get a chance to tell you what happened to me this
right.
weekend.
Story time.
Embarrassing story.
Okay. I'm here for it.
Down the shore, went to Lavalette for dinner. We were hanging out. I had to go to the bath. We were eating outside. I had to go to the bathroom inside. I was dressed kind of nice. I was, I thought I looked as good as I can. I was put together. Anyway, I walk in. I'm going to the bathroom, and one of the waitresses or hostess, whatever, I don't know what her title would be, but she was putting something away in the closet. And she turns around. We made eye contact, and she says, because a very weird, not weird, a surprisingly friendly, hello, and typically, I would pretend I didn't hear that,
Right.
Because I just don't want the weird quick
Sure.
interactions and small. But if I'm being honest, she was pretty, so
Okay.
I made an exception, and I said a very nice hello back. Turned out there was somebody behind me that works there, and that's who she was talking to. And she straight up laughed at me.
Yeah.
I was like, ah.
Yeah.
And, I can't blame her. I think she tried her best not to straight up laugh at me. But, yeah, I mean, it ruined the weekend.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's one that gets me a lot. I mean, if you're sending a hello,
It's why I typically pretend I didn't hear.
yeah, it's that's tough. I mean, we've all been there. I mean, or if someone says your name around you, you do the head turn there. Someone gives a wave. I mean, no audio. And if there's a wave in your direction, it's a natural instinct. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I immediately texted Zach about it. I didn't know who else to turn to.
Always Zach.
Yeah. And and Zach, well, I'm sure she already forgot about it, and then I'm on a whole, well, I guess I'm just very forgettable kick.
It's tough. So that's a bruh of
And
the
then I
night
told
to
it to
you.
Sam, and she laughed at me.
Right.
She's like, "Oh, aren't you happy you put yourself out there and said hi?"
Mm.
I was like, "No, not at all.
Wasn't
I will
worth it.
never do it again.
It was not worth it.
It's a mistake I won't make anytime soon."
That's a great bro of the night. It's a great bro of the night. Sorry. I will, I've been talking about Chris Paul a lot and his game, and he kind of deserves it. I hope he gets a big one later this year. I love some Chris Paul. That would do wonders for him, all-time NBA stuff, because he is an all-time point guard, but his playoff recipe is bad. I'll tie him into Monty Williams, the Suns head coach. Us Knicks fans were all excited for Tibbs to get coach of the year, and he did, and deservedly so. Again, expectations.
I do think it should be him.
The Knicks were a disaster. They're supposed to be the worst team in the league. They were that in the power rankings, and they were fourth in the East. Monty Williams and Chris Paul, I didn't realize, and I guess, there's a new Athletical article about it, but there's a lot going on. Monty Williams was his head coach for a little bit in New Orleans, I believe.
Really?
So
he overlapped as head coach.
They are connected. They are connected, which I didn't realize that. And I may miss some parts of this, so I'm sorry, but they are connected through their NBA lives, and I think they even had some beefs. And I think Chris Paul was becoming a young superstar, and Monty Williams hadn't done anything coaching wise, and I think they butted heads a little bit. And then here they are; they find themselves in the desert, and Monty Williams number 2 for coach of the year. Chris Paul, he didn't get too emotional, but he did lay it out pretty fairly. There was a while when Chris Paul's contract was viewed as the worst thing in the NBA.
Who would possibly take that
right.
on?
How much do you have to give to get off of Chris Paul? Those conversations were had. So for Chris Paul to do this, with this team. Booker, who, by the way, Devin Booker deserves some love. That guy got crapped on a lot for racking up meaningless stats, and now they're making them count. But I guess I'll tie it to Monty Williams and Chris Paul, who their basketball lives are intertwined, and it looks like they're doing something special right now. Monty Williams in his presser last night talked about his love for Chris Paul and all that. So that's pretty cool.
And even like half shout out DeAndre Ayton as well. I think I've done this before. He was the number 1 pick ahead of Luka and everyone else, and he was half shit on a little bit. I mean, I guess the best thing that ever happened to him was the Trae Young part of that, where Trae Young and Luka are always connected.
Right.
So people kind of forget DeAndre Ayton and
Right.
Bagley.
Yeah. Bagley.
So people kind of forget about them because Luka was literally traded and all that. But like there are circles of people that shit on that.
Right.
They're saying he kind of doesn't matter.
Especially a big man. No,
he makes meaningful like basketball plays night in, night out, and
he's been good.
I think he had a PED suspension at one point
Me
2 years
too.
ago.
How about this?
I don't care about it at all in basketball. It's crazy.
Tavares Montgomery Williams. There's a fun name. All right, BBD. I think we got to start wrapping up. I got to start prepping for talking baseball. Chris Rose can't get embarrassed by him today, so I'll get ready for that. We'll be doing talking baseball in a minute. We laid out there's some good NBA. Always the baseball hot in the streets. Pinstripe strong. Talking Yanks for some tears. Sequence, a.k.a. Sequence with Trevor Plouffe. Chris Rose rotation. I just listened to the James McCann one and the Rich Hill one today. It's really awesome. Go listen to it. Talking Nets is rolling. They got to be wondering what's going on right now. Everything across John Boy Media. There's some breakdowns out there. Farm to Fame. Check it all out. It's all out. Thank you guys. Bake the algorithm. Have a great little week. We'll talk to you guys Thursday. Fishy.